Okay, I'm on a real roll here, so I'm going to do the next level of long multiplication, hoping I get this right. That'll be 3 takes in a row. So, hoping you're all up for this. This is the big one. This is the one where lots of people get confused, but if you can get this under your belt, you will be away for the biggest sums in the world without a calculator. And I promise you, you will use this maths in everyday life. It's something that I use all the time, and I'm sure mums, dads, grandparents, friends, they use it too. So, long multiplication, multiplying larger numbers. And we're going to start by multiplying a 2-digit number and a 2-digit number together. So let's choose a couple of nice tasty numbers. Let's have something like 49. I haven't done that yet. So 49 multiplied by 36. That sounds good. So 36, pop in your equal sign. We're going to lay it out exactly the same as we did before. Large number on top, smaller number underneath, lining up those tens and units. Don't let anything wobble out of place. So 49 multiplied by 36. Okay, keep those in line. Bring down your equal sign, but we're only going to pop the first line in. Keep the second one behind your ear for later. Okay. Bring down your multiplication sign so that we know what's going on. Right, so let's start multiplying. What we need to do is we need to multiply every number by the other number. Okay, so if we focus on the bottom row, I'm going to change colours, that might help you here. So let's go for this lovely lime green. We're going to multiply this 6 unit by everything on the top row. So we're going to multiply this 6 by 9. And then we're going to multiply this 6 by 4, which is really a 40, we know that, okay? After we've done that, we're going to take this 3 here, which is really 30. Let's change to lovely livid pink. And we're going to multiply this 3 by 9, and we're going to multiply this 3 by 4. So we've multiplied everything on the bottom row by the top row. Should we give that a go? I'm going to change the colours as we go so you can see where the numbers come from. And if you want to do this when you're practicing at home, it's a good idea to make sure that you don't forget anything. So let's go back to the lime green. So, 6 times 9. 6 nines are 54. Okay? So we write the unit down and carry the 10 with us. So 6 nines are 54. Write the 4 down and carry the 5, pop it underneath the 10 in little writing. Make sure that's really tiny. This is where that tiny writing comes important, okay? Then we say 6 fours. 6 fours are 24. We need to add on this little fella here. 24, add 5, becomes 29, okay? Now we've got nothing else to multiply, so we can write the whole lot down. Keeping everything in line, okay? Make a nice new column for the hundreds. All right? What we need to do now is we need to multiply both the top numbers by this 3 here. But this isn't really a 3, is it? It's a 30. And so we need to tell the world that that 3 is really a 30. So let's change to our fantastic pink. And in order to tell the world that this is really a 30, we need to pop a place value 0 here. And that will just keep that place and tell the world that you know you're multiplying by 30 and not by 3. Okay, in effect you're moving everything to the left. So, 3 nines. 3 nines are 27. Underneath here, we take the 7, we write it down, we carry the 10s with us and pop it down underneath. Make sure you don't get that 5 involved, okay? 4 threes are 12. Add on this little fella here. 12 add 2 gives us 14. So we've got the 4, we've got nothing else to multiply, so that 1 can go down there. Now I haven't left myself much space here, so I'm going to have to do tiny writing myself. I'm going to go back to the blue pen, because what we can do now we need to add everything up. So draw myself a line underneath. This little fella here is in the way. I'm going to write over him. I'm not going to rub him out, because if anybody looks at my work, they can see that I've carried the 2, okay? But I'm sure you'll be much cleverer and be able to just move him up a little bit. So 4 add 0 is 4. 9 add add 7 is 16. Carry that 1. See, now we're in danger land because we've got a 1 and a 2 here. That's my fault. 2 add 4 is 6. Add 1 more makes 7. And bring down this 1. So we've now got 1,764. So we write it up the top, 1,000 with a gap, 764. Okay, I'll do one more of those just to make sure you're quite happy. All right, good. Let's try one more. So fingers crossed I don't make a mistake and we have to do the whole lot again. So let's start with a 2-digit number by a 2-digit number. So choose your 2-digit numbers. We've got, let's say, 65 multiplied by 37. That seems like a good sum to me. So 65 by 37. We're going to lay it out in exactly the same way that we did before. So big number on top, 65. Smaller number underneath, 37. Now, you need to bring down your equal sign, but I only want you to bring down the first line. So pop the first line underneath, put the second one behind your ear for later, and you need to bring down your multiplying sign so that we know what's going on. Okay, now what we have to do in this sum is we have to multiply each of the numbers on the bottom row by each of the numbers on the top row. And I'm going to change pens because sometimes that just helps you to see what's going on. So, we use the green pen to start with. We're going to take this 7 and we're going to multiply this 7 by both of the numbers on the top row. So we're going to say 7 times 5 and then we're going to say 7 times 6. Alright? So let's go for the burn. So 7 5s are 35. We're going to write the 5 down, carry the 30 along. Now this number 3 here, 30, needs to be really tiny. If it's big, it's going to interfere with your calculation later on. So if you're somebody who has a naturally big handwriting style, try and scale yourself down. If you're using a thick pencil, go and get a thin pencil, but scale yourself down so that 3 doesn't cause you trouble later. 7 6s are 42, add on this little fella here, makes 45. We've got nothing else to multiply, so we can write the whole number in. Make sure you keep everything lined up, make a new column for the hundreds, okay? Now the next thing we have to do is we have to multiply this number, which is really 30, we're going to call it 3, but we know it's 30, by each of these two numbers on the top row. I'm going to change colour, I'm going for pink, here we go. So, we're going to take this 3 and we're going to multiply it by this number here, this digit 5, and we're going to multiply it by this 6. So we've multiplied each of the numbers on the top by the 3. Now, as I said, this is not 3, this is really 30. So we need to tell the world this is 30. And the way that we tell the world this is 30 is by putting in a 0 place value holder at the beginning in the units column. And you need to do that straight away before you think of anything else. So, say this is 30, in goes that 0. It's there now, we know. In effect, we've moved all those numbers to the left already. So, now 3 times 5 is 15. Don't get muddled up with this little fella here. Carry the 1, make it tiny. 6 3s are 18. Add on that 1, that makes 19. We've got nothing else to multiply, so we can write it straight in. Everybody happy with that? So the green numbers are multiplied by the 7, the pink numbers are multiplied by the 3, which is really 30. We've got our 0 in there. Don't forget that. That's a really common mistake. Okay, now what we've actually done here is we've made ourselves a ready-made column addition sum. So that's what we need to do, is add these two numbers together now. So get that equal sign back out from behind your ear. Let's change back to the blue. Pop in that second equal sign and we're going to add them together. So we've got 5 add 0 is 5. 5 and 5 is 10. Carry that 1. 9 and 4 is 13 and 1 more makes 14. Carry the 1. 1 and 1 makes 2. So we end up with 2,405. Okay, I'm going to write that down at the top. After the 2, we need to leave a little gap or a comma to show the world that is 2,000. Okay, so 2,000, comma or gap, 405. That makes the numbers easier to read and easier to say. Okay, it makes a little gap in our brains. Right, are you happy with that?